bed.
Yeah.
Sometimes
Getting ready for yes, bed.
Ready.
Okay. And so now we have our little class.
Oh, great. I think they're like a package of
It's
like a
on our kitty cat to say when she wakes up in the morning.
yeah, I really want to make
Say,
so
"Good morning."
it's like go. I want to make so
Or you want it to just say hi.
feel like my heart. Like go.
I can see.
Yeah, it sounds like I have a picture of the mama. With beautiful the rosa with me. And have a mama.
You want to try to make it both?
Do you want to record yourself saying?
No.
You want the kitty cat to say it? Do that.
I don't.
We're gonna record our, all say good morning, and then the cat will say good morning. How about that?
Yeah.
Good.
There we go.
So instead of it,
You want to get it in the chair?
And part of this off. And then that
we need to get ready. Right? So, we're gonna keep that same background. But color all about yeah. Going to, and then you come off the head, you got go off script down to the report. You go over, and now we hit the class. Ready to go to school. Isn't that
So, see this?
You wanna do some more?
You have that finger too, right?
We can add another seat.
Now you can move your mouse. You see your mouse on the screen? Now move your mouse over here to the.
So this is, this part right here, so we got it.
There you go. Well, you
bet.
Someone talking about. Okay.
Kind of have a different seat, so now I'm just gonna go.
If
You like it?
it's. Yeah, I'm wondering if it's. No.
Super cool. Be careful. Don't wanna fall.
Inside.
And then, okay.
Yeah.
And now we're gonna go to yellow.
Fine for a second.
And we're gonna drive that down.
Pictures of this, I posted them.
There's three.
It's like a.
Push inside that room. You have a thing.
Oh, yeah.
It goes around and around and around. So drag that down. And you're like, don't walk this up. Go forward. Right. Now,
Then if you want to turn
And then you can pick a different background.
and then it's gonna walk down the
just
street.
one button and turn.
Right there.
And what's kind of neat about it is you can go over a video game and it's changing. And that is your.
Yes.
Pretty cool.
Down the street. Would you want you to go farther? Do you want it to, go here?
Same like.
Down the street. So let's try that.
You want to see some? It does this.
It's coming on. Weird. Make a note in your, if you wanted to.
You know.
That's boring. Oh, okay.
So we have.
Start off.
So do you want your cat to be that color?
That is your player, so if you click this brave block right here,
Sounds
click the brave block. There you go, so now we'll get one. So there's different ways. You can
Do you want it to be this?
Yeah, have a look at that. Okay. Gallery. Here, I mean, it's a surface, it's gonna be. It's like-
Red, and also what color face should it have?
And there's a ninja, right? They were doing
Yellow?
that could be a color. So you-
Look, both sides.
And
They
then-
all-
Yeah,
then you can
I think today is voting systems, right?
and then-
Is what, yeah, I mean, we can let them talk about this and then we can do our things, yeah. Yeah.
And
Now,
it's pretty fun. Food to make it good. So let's do that.
Right at the beach?
Also not try to
Okay.
control. There's always the road.
I gotta figure out how to get myself home, but I'm gonna clean up my room once I can get out of here. My car's stuck at, parking lot near Arby's. Yeah, so. I'll be here tomorrow. That's where the car's at.
Yes.
You can kind of start whenever, yeah, well, still one, but you can still, yeah.
I understand, I have a basis, then. I need them all. Okay.
Finish building the game, which was just a couple blocks, and,
Okay.
get started.
Yeah.
And he actually will have a QR code that you can scan, and he'll be able to have that game on your phone when he leaves here today too. So if you have your phone, then, we'll be able to scan that QR code.
I got it. Get out, make sure it's safe.
Oh, you got a cat and dog at the beach.
There you go. Yes. As long as it's in front, like on top of the- Here, I'll put it. Trying to get it about.
Oh,
So if I take this.
Do you wanna take the dragon away? You just hold on to it.
Right.
There you go. Okay. Do you want the basket?
No, because it doesn't know what's going on, it says an error.
Talk to your chat. Try some of these
So
possibly.
grab this and just somewhere down here.
Another baby.
Oh,
Oh, you didn't get a baby? Okay.
So. Go back. Over here. Something. Oh, you've been here 6 months. So you click on that gray square. If you hold one button and then.
You've got this hat
You just choose.
on that. Second. Yeah. Two seconds.
Oh, goodness, that's amazing. There you go. I think my asset.
The term was like 10 days. That was 3 meetings.
Good job. Thank you, Brandon, for talking to the robot. They go right at you. That arrow tells you what direction it's gonna go. Go. Jump on the card.
I remember a lot. Especially we were paired with Aria, so where I was, in the program. And so like, which you understand, because it was a radically different, like, HR type thing, right? Because they're radically different cultural things.
You wanna bring it back?
But it was amazing. And it was just great. I was such a great. But it was just. And it was not like. Not a just. Yeah, it was just. The right thing to do, so. But it's also NHS. So we were watching that and they're flying. Okay, so let's slow down. So. Just. You're waking up. The more you do this, you'll see that this is 35th, 32. If you want to set a big building, twice as big as this. You can use the arrow keys to kind of move around and using the range. Yeah, all right. So I'll let you guys kind of play and enjoy some cheeseburgers, a hamburger.
And I woke up and he's gone.
The savings, all that cheese are fine. This is good. Yeah. They can just play with their things.
All right, Julie, do you mind if we go ahead and get some? Okay, because I know this is not like my show, so.
It is now.
I got all the
You
toys.
got them all.
But that means I can talk to the parents, like, oh, no, yes, the whole point. Okay, so, welcome everybody. My name is Joe Dawn, my husband Steve, and this is actually my son, Liam. So, we are the owners and operators of Code Ninjas, which teaches kids computer coding, STEM, robotics. We start with kids as young as 4 or 5 years old, with very tactile ways of learning how to code, from Lego to drones to VR coding. Because the great thing about learning how to code, when you focus on the concepts, it's a lot like math, where it's really just how you manipulate those concepts and those numbers. So we teach primarily through video game design, because kids love video games, but the same concepts in video games are then applied to drones, websites, apps, and it really opens up a whole world of opportunities for kids. The great thing about learning at a very young age is it really trains the brain to think analytically through problem solving, logic skills. A lot of kids now, they've had Google and Siri, they have ChatGPT and all the different things. So those thinking processes haven't developed in kids the same way that when we had to go to an encyclopedia, hard catalog, they don't have all those joys. So teaching them how to think programmatically and logically, it's called computational thinking. It helps no matter what they decide to study in school. So when you think computationally, you're thinking in patterns, which means if you think about math, reading, spelling, taking a big essay, decomposing it into smaller pieces, those are all things that they're doing in coding, and all skills that they develop that are then transferable to all types of learning that they do. And so Julie and I are hoping to put a great partnership together and bring some of these programs to the kids. We're not exactly sure what that's going to look like yet, so we are still kind of letting that evolve. But we have everything from picture-based coding, where they can make video games, illustrate stories, even these Lego robotics. These, of course, are a little bit more complicated, but we also can do things with pictures. So even if they're not a strong reader or they're not really comfortable with some of those technical terms yet, we can still get them with hands-on engineering skills, learning to code. And then over here, these guys have already tested out some of our coding, building their first video game, which is extremely exciting. And I know that some of the people here are interested in possibly even robotics competitions, the first Lego League, and some of the other types of platforms. And we're here to kind of help support your kiddos in that direction. So we just kind of brought a little bit of what we have. We do a lot of different things, but we can really tailor this to however the kids are interested in what they're learning. So I'm just going to open it up to you guys and see what kind of questions you have about learning to code, or so most parents are like, I didn't realize kids could do this at such a young age. So what kind of questions do you guys have for us about what we do, our programs, how we do it, or anything? Yeah.
A lot of it's speculative, but I'm kind of wondering how you implement it here, right? So would it be built reason? That's a question that you don't have an answer to. Either way, I'm assuming it would be like probably an hour-ish session or something like that.
It can be, yeah.
And like what would like kind of some average, just, you gotta wag
Oh, yeah, of
What
course.
would that look like, you know, or if, cause we'll have a limited engagement, right? I assume like a month or two, right, sessions, so that'd be what, 4 sessions, 8 sessions, so like, what might that look like?
It can really look a lot of different ways. So as we are trying to gauge where the students' interests are, it may be that we spend 6 weeks and do something different all 6 weeks. So that we can find, which is kind of why we wanted to bring kind of a couple different things, right? Kind of see where people's interests are. Some of it's gonna be age driven. You know, obviously our kindergarten, first and second graders aren't able to do some of the things that the older kids are able to do, right? We're not gonna get our 5-year-olds doing our drones, right? So it can really be a test of 6 weeks. Let's see what they're interested in, or we can say, okay, on this day or this hour, we're gonna do Lego robotics, and on this day, we're gonna do video game coding, and on the next day, we're gonna do this. And then the kids can kind of pick and choose what they want to do. Or we just want to do engineering and talk about, you know, regular catapults or, you know, bridge structures or all the different types of things. So we're still kind of figuring out what that looks like.
Petting zoo day, the field trip
Yes.
day would be the key to like figuring that, refining that a little bit.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, of course, my question is.
That's okay. We can do hour blocks, we can do hour and a half blocks. Coding is very easy to do in an hour. The VR coding, very easy to do in an hour. Lego robotics, hour and a half is usually a little bit better for the older kids. The younger ones can get it done in about an hour because their projects are a little simpler. Just because you have the coding and the building side of things. We are mostly mobile. But obviously there's things that, you know, are at the center that you guys come with us, just because we don't have to bring our computers and all the other things, but we can certainly do that. Any other parents that have questions? Yes, sir. So this is Microsoft MakeCode Arcade. So it's a Microsoft-based product. It's completely free. And so it is actually what is embedded into our curriculum that we utilize, but this is just, you just open up Microsoft MakeCode Arcade. Scratch is a very common thing that a lot of the schools use. It's designed out of MIT to get kids to start coding. And so it starts with block-based coding. You see the emulator, it's going to respond in real time. So if he adds a block that changes what his sprite or character looks like, he's going to see that. If he is going to change the background or how fast those projectiles are going to come, it's going to show them. It's also going to show them if there's an error. It's not going to tell them what the error is. That's part of the problem solving and debugging process. But it will at least tell them. Now, my husband, you know, he spent 2 hours coding a project in college and just hoped it worked at the end. So there is a little bit of that instant feedback, which is great for kids. And as you can see, it's color coded. So it's going to have things like the variables are always red, and you know your loops and those types of things are going to be a particular color. And so what it's doing is it's training the brain to know this type of code is different than that kind of code. In our traditional program, we start with block-based, and then we get into JavaScript, and then C#, Godot, and some other kind of upper level types of coding. So when they start to make that transition over to script coding, they understand like, okay, this is what a variable looks like, and this is where it goes in the code, which is absolutely fascinating that these kiddos can do these wonderful things. And just about all of our programs start with block-based. So our Legos are block-based, but yes, you can do Python. You know, our drones are Blockly. Our, you know, a lot of these types of things are, you know, block-based. Even our VR coding that we're rolling out in March, February, March, is all going to be block-based as well. So, you know, it's kind of cool that they build a video game and then they actually get to step into that world and what that looks like. So it's very fascinating.
Good job.
Kids, are you guys having fun?
Yeah.
Yeah? Good. Any other questions from parents?
It's a vibration.
Yeah, Legos are great because they're so durable. Kids will drop them. I drop them.
Oh, yeah.
They just continue to work.
Yeah, and it's funny because we actually have a BattleBots Lego summer camp that we run, and we actually have to strategically build our Legos so that they will fall apart because the Technic Legos are not designed to fall apart. That's the whole point, that they're much stronger. And so, but super fun camp nonetheless.
that in Gulf Breeze too, or is that?
We can do something, we do it in both centers. So our Pensacola Center's been open about almost 4 years. March is our 4-year anniversary. And we just opened up the Gulf Breeze location in August. We did a couple of temporary space summer camps last summer, but this will be our first like official summer in our new permanent space, Gulf Breeze. So, which we're very excited about.
Yep.
But we'd love to be able to come over here and do some stuff for summer as well. Make it a little bit more accessible for you guys. And we'll use, Roblox game development. We use Minecraft education for a lot of things. Our older kids have an AI academy so they can learn to learn AI the right way, leverage the tools that are out there. So we go from 5 all the way through high school. So we've got a little bit of something for everybody.
Not adults.
Yeah. We parent class, absolutely. Absolutely. So. Yeah. Well, and we do have like one for our ninjas that we have in our center, we'll do like a parent, because parents aren't allowed in our dojo. Julie was one of the few adults that was allowed in the dojo. We do where the kids get to teach the parents, your family 3D printing workshop. So we do a lot of those. He runs all of our Lego robotics and he does all of his Lego robotics stuff. His family, there's a lot of parents that want to do Legos and learn this stuff and do it with their kids. So he runs all of our Lego robotics.
I love it when the parents come in and sit with their kids and they'll realize just how difficult it is for the kids putting those pieces together. The strength in their fingers and the dexterity that they need. And it's hard to build projects without the instructions. And it's great watching the kids really follow the instructions, orienting the Lego just right so they can put the next part on. There's a lot of listening, following the instructions.
It's not on the program that it's actually knows what
And what's
to do.
great about it is they learn some concepts that I like to let them know. Hey, this is 7th grade math you guys are doing today.
And all the circumference and all these things. But they just want their Lego to move.
Stuff like that, especially with video games, with the Lego robotics. We do some pretty, we're talking about variables where. If you need a score to keep track of your count as it goes up, they start realizing variable is just something that holds a value, and they start, when they get to math, it's more of, oh, I've heard that term before, and now I kind of understand what A, B, C is talking about. So it's kind of fun to really watch the kids, and they pick it up really quick. It's incredible.
You want to use the catapult?
Oh, okay.
It's
It's all right. It's Lego. The baby's not in there. Okay.
Oh, I see.
I just like to play myself around.
And you're trying to save.
Yeah.
And I'm not using this duck. You, oh boy. Let's go back up. Go back up. Okay. I like that bird.
No, it was just a thing.
Really good. I had you surprised.
They'll something else to my care.
Here, let me do something real quick. I'm gonna get one piece of it. They're going to.
Like, I was amazing.
You want me to check it out?
Okay. So all we need to do is go back to the airplane.
You want me to pick it up?
Almost. Now grab this big first one. The big red one. Oh. Yeah. Thing, and let's look it at the very top. Sometimes that pull. Oh, everything fell apart. Let's now grab that block again. And we'll put it in.
Try to in the pocket.
And now, click right there.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's why we do that. Usually pom-poms.
Yeah.
But they're costed off character. Or you can make your characters like.
Make my
Yeah, and when you're happy with your character, you're done, and I'll help you fix the rest of that. Oh, I like the eyes. Yeah. What for me, Zelda. You can make
You like Legos? Fantastic. So, we have a little robotic car made out of Legos that we coded. As soon as those boys are done, then you can go over there and you can code your own video game. All kinds of fun things. And then we've got some little robots on the ground that you can You're ready for NASCAR, girl? I think it might be broken.
Yeah, that's pretty kind of.
So let me show you how these work. Yeah. So you're gonna directional buttons and then you'll hit go. And then you want to clear out any code that's inside. Here, you can have this one right here, buddy. Here we go. And then when you're ready, hit go. The green. Just got rid of all your codes.
Yeah, you can make like a platform game.
Go.
That's one game.
I'll leave a stack of these for anyone that's interested. I mean, obviously, it's not gonna be what we're doing here, but there's information about it. Yeah.
Definitely.
Where's your stuff?
I think that's the. So this is it.
Oh, but then you can't see the.
Kimberly, how are you? All the sugar out of you on our party too. You're all done? All right. You guys have a good part.
I guess you did that, right?
Yeah, so this kind of. Three. That you.
But what? You get cotton balls, okay.
That's. Just like it. That's how you're doing this. Now.
We have a 3D printing as well.
If we didn't come backwards, that's okay. So what he did, he opened the backwards.
I can know that's called to pick up that cotton ball.
If you take a screenshot of that, you can go going that saying that you
You for collecting cotton balls, I appreciate that.
and then
You sure? Here, you're on the mat, you'll slip. It's slippery. Want to get the cotton ball first? You're okay.
let me fix this for you. Oh, it'll be, yeah, it'll be a box.
Right, don't stick it on that.
Or.
Yeah, let it run its course, and then once it stops, then you can hit X to clear the code.
Right.
We just say bye to our flag.
Great. This is the time. Something like this. Actually, I'll make it look a little better, but. Notice the outline and go away.
The basket? Do you think you can make the bucket? Make a basket? Almost.
Those are up there. Careful. Watch this. I'll go right here. And play this in. You're gonna move this.
Don't stand on that.
You can continue coding in it and play it at home.
Joe. That's why.
Watch out now.
It's a face, right? That's in 4 hours.
Yeah. You can continue coding your own game. Make your own. If you wanted to.
Right.
So for our parents that have just recently joined us on Zoom, we're just watching these guys as they're demonstrating some of what Code Ninja can do. And we're gonna be talking with them about possibly setting up a class for our kiddos to be able to participate in. Hopefully we can get one started this school year. If not, definitely during the summer and then on into next year. It ranges from stuff very basic, from like 4 or 5-year-olds, all the way up to high school level, doing like Lego robotics, programming, things like that. They did give me a little card. I do have some of these to take home, but I think we also have a Google form that's going to be going out to to kind of gauge interest in what people might be interested in as far as participating with the Code Ninja stuff. So super cool. As you can tell, the kids are loving it. So we're just kind of letting them have some playtime. Over there at the table, they're doing a computer game. They're coding a game there on the computer. So tons of things that they were doing over there. It's super cool. So we're just giving them some playtime for just a few minutes before we get into like our announcements and things like that. So just bear with us a few more minutes and then we'll come in and talk about updates and announcements.
Uh-oh.
Oh, yeah, that frustration. All right. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, as long as we have the background from the therapist, then they will.
Right now, we don't have any code. But she specializes pre-K or something. But she keeps her stuff in her storage. She puts it in her CD.
Before you hit go, buddy.
Really more than.
But I mean, because that's her quick. Yeah, so it wouldn't be, probably wouldn't be very.
Thousand milliseconds, right? Everything.
Same little thing, some big, yeah, we.
Got it?
That's up here.
Always goes all.
Some of the controls are backwards.
For everybody.
For this.
Oh.
Little bar down, little gray bar.
I don't think it's a wonderful manageable. I hope you enjoyed that. Because
Forget that you're recording over there. Let's turn it back on. That's the solution.
Powered down.
Hold on, no.
I know, right? Yeah.
Alright, so try it now. There you go.
Oh, yeah. It's like, yeah, it's like, we can hear it all. I mean, at least all of when you do one thing.
Okay. You wanna try? Well, you got to turn it off. That's why you can turn it off. You gotta try. So this is.
So it's
Right here, you can like.
different also in time. It's not the same every single time.
Oh, you're. Oh, you're. I think that was easy.
Yeah, right.
Turn it on.
Okay. Oh, hey, you don't have to use angry growls.
Turn it on.
Gotta turn it back on.
I don't know.
That's Bluetooth. Plugging right here. All right, there you go. Oh, okay. Okay, well, the wheel has to go on, so it has to go, it has to go.
One other. Almost there. Awesome.
Doing all that. This is something I understand your relationship. The two of you.
A bit of patience, okay?
Well, right now, the speed really slow.
You're doing it.
Turn it up a little bit. So I think this is.
You have these buttons here on the front.
I won't put buttons here also. You gotta take it. You gotta press.
So we started off.
All right.
Watch out.
So they only use it.
That's it over here. This one, right. There you go.
How's it going over here?
So then.
It's there.
Oh, good. They've already done all that. Maybe they gave me a pass, okay?
Fast. Fun game.
So then we like, we're gonna let it.
Okay, that's like, are you driving the car? Okay, so this is a very big.
It was.
Yep.
So.
And then no one.
Oh,
This one's starting to get a low battery. I see red eyes.
but they were.
Watch out.
So.
There goes your code again.
Let's roll. There's no, you wanna make,
If they have a, they need to get cards and then their eyes turn green.
yes.
You guys have been keeping the robots very busy today.
Batteries is going down.
Let's not shoot this because you're right.
To build.
Legos to fill. You can get the Legos.
On the side.
If you wanna play one, if you wanna build one game.
What's the name when the eyeballs are red?
Yeah, so-
There's some stickers. Would you like a ninja sticker?
If you go to the home.
Here. You got box here? And this is a text.
Yeah.
What's that sticker? For your mom, for your dad. We're gonna have to. Okay.
And.
Don't take it.
But what if the goat is just like two more?
That's already, that's the first thing we're gonna do. We're gonna go down to the tree, see the tree? Here it is. And now you see this third block? Now we're gonna put it inside. You wanna tap it? And
They have.
I'm saying.
So,
You wanna wait?
take it home. You gotta wait till you get home and get water.
Yeah.
Yes.
So. Well, now he's gone. No, he's playing.
What's gonna be a one?
Okay.
Taking a break.
Oh,
Okay.
Alright, yeah, well, you're taking a breath, get ready to go. It's like,
All right, guys, I'll go ahead, they can keep playing over there, but I'll just talk about, give some of the updates and, talk about a few things that we were gonna talk about. Just a few, updates on things that are coming up. So this weekend we have some work days at the new building. Starting tomorrow afternoon, Todd's gonna be there from about 1 o'clock on. If you're available to go, we got, 8 sets of lockers in the storage pod thing there that's there at the, beside the building. And we need to pull those out. We're gonna set them up on the concrete. We're gonna sand them, get them scuffed up a little bit and pressure wash them tomorrow. And then hopefully then starting Saturday morning, we will start, we gotta put a coat of primer on and then start painting them. The primer doesn't take but about 30 minutes to dry. So with 8 sets of lockers, we figure by the time we get done priming the last set, probably the first set will probably be ready to start being painted. Todd's got one, I think he's looking at getting another sprayer so we can spray paint. I mean, not spray paint, but like use a sprayer to paint the locker. So we're gonna try to have 2 of those going on Saturday. So if you're available on Saturday to come out, probably get started like maybe 9ish. Come when you can, leave when you must, kind of a thing. I know it is Valentine's Day, so if you got a big date planned, I'll try to get you out in time for that. And then I know Sunday there is a pretty high chance of rain as of right now, so we're trying to get the painting done with those on Saturday. And then, but on Sunday we're gonna try to install them. So like maybe like Sunday afternoon, I'll double check with Todd and we'll kind of see how the process goes. But maybe Sunday afternoon. It is supposed to rain, but we can work on getting those installed. So just some extra hands holding things and drills and all the things to get those mounted on the walls. Because as you guys know, these kids will they'll climb on them, they'll all the things. So safety first, right? So we want to get those secured to the wall. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, if you're available, whatever part of that, we definitely appreciate your help. Again, all that would be at the new building over at 106 Racetrack. So, and then next weekend, we're not completely sure about what we're doing next weekend, but our goal is to try to install our cameras for the new building. So that's going to involve being up on ladders, helping put wire through the ceiling, those kind of things. So,
I'll hopefully have more updates as the week goes along next week as to what that's gonna entail and what the timing of all that is. But that's our goal for next weekend is to get the cameras installed. So if you have a ladder, preferably like one of the taller ones, cause it's got a 10-foot ceiling, I don't know. Ceilings over there are pretty tall, so, so definitely need probably more than just a 6-foot ladder if you've got like an 8-foot probably or more ladder. Even if you can't come, maybe you can just coordinate and just drop off the ladder, make sure your name's on it. If you can drop off some ladders, just to help us be able to get those installed next weekend. So extra hands would be great though, with that. So we'll send out more information next week as we know about, that workday next weekend. So, anybody have questions about any of the work days this weekend or next weekend? No, okay. And then just a few, like the paperwork things that we've sent out. So lately, we started talking about, last fall, we sent out paperwork for like the property destruction forms, the, what was it? Oh, the property destruction, and then this past week or 2 weeks ago, we sent out the camera policy. So there's an update on our camera policy. If you have not seen those or signed those, please let us know. Kelly's got a list of everybody who has turned that in. But if you know you for sure haven't, let us know because we need to get those documents signed from everybody. And then one of the newer things that we just started rolling out is our new support card. So hopefully you guys have seen the support cards that come home. Now I know Hangars 1 and Hangars 2 are not using this support card. They have their own version of their daily what happens during the day. But Hangars 3 and up you should be seeing this support card. We've updated it to include this section up here from notes from home. So feel free to write anything up here that you think is that, even if you don't think it's important, it really is. It truly does help us know what's going on. If they watched a weird show that morning, or obviously if they didn't sleep, those kind of things are huge pieces of information. Bless you. For those, here in the corner does have a few sections like, did they eat breakfast? Did they take their meds? Did they sleep all night? Was it a smooth morning? Those are really important things to help us kind of gauge what's going on, how our day's going to look and how we can approach that, right? I mean, we always try to approach everything with grace and love and all that, but still, when we know all these are factors, I know yesterday I was subbing in here for Hangar 7 and 8, and one of the kids, he was like, I didn't take my meds today. And I was like, okay. I was like, but by the time parents, I was able to get a hold of them, like it was like closer to like 11, and they were like, we really don't want them to take it this late in the day. I was like, understood. So I was like, I just had to talk with them. I was like, hey, you didn't take your meds. You're gonna be a little bit more on edge, maybe. Always hungry now. He was literally eating us out of everything all day long. So if they don't take their meds, whatever that is, let us know those things. Because I don't, again, we try to approach everything with grace and love, but our fuses can get a little short sometimes. And so when we don't know some of this, we can be like, what is wrong today? What's going on? This will help us to be able to know a little bit more. So, and then feel free to use this section to write in anything that's going on. It's not an absence form though. So if you're like, hey, we're going out of town, we're not going to be here tomorrow, do not use this for absences. Okay. That has to go through official channels. And then down here in the main section, in that subject area, that's their schedule. That's what they did. Here in Tracy's room over there on that far right side, it starts with check-in, snack, and that's their day. So they fill that in every day, at least in this class. Now, other classes, the teacher will probably do it, or therapist. They'll fill in their schedule, and then they earn those points all throughout the day. And this is where those points get tracked. They have 4 different areas that they can earn points all throughout the day. We have a point system. There's one. I can posted in the group. Yeah, can you go point to that one then? But there's a chart that's in every classroom, and it has examples of or points that students can earn throughout the day. Kelly's going to post it too. So this will help you have a gauge of how their day went. Okay.
this is our first layer of communicating with you every single day of how their day went, okay? So being able to see the points that they earned. Now, the only way they lose points is through bullying, okay? We've talked about that in prior sessions. If they bully somebody, they transfer their points to that kid that they bullied, okay? So that's the only way that they lose points is by bullying, okay? And so you'll see that on their paper. Hey, lost all their, or gave their points to, or they probably won't have the kids' name, but lost all their points, transferred them to because of bullying, right? So you'll see that on there also, okay? And then the new thing we've added is this behavior scale over here. I know Laura had asked if she could send a copy of it home. I made a chart, kind of a guide for the teachers of what the 1 through 10 might look like. 1 is good, 1 is calm, 1 is calm state all day long. 10 is massive aggression, property destruction, massive, okay? And then all the levels in between may be varying things, okay? So we have a behavior scale now all throughout the day. And then we added these sections down here at the bottom. Teacher notes. Well, teacher notes was always there, but we kind of added some of those sections about whether they met expectations or needs improvement for the day. We added a section down here for therapist notes. So if they are with a therapist at any point during the day, the therapist can put notes, and then also for afternoon therapy. So if they stay for after school therapy, then their after school therapist can also use this section to write in notes of what happened or what they did during their afternoon therapy section after school. And then the very bottom here is this thermometer chart. Now, this is the only time you're going to see it in color because we're not printing in color here because it costs way too much money to print 70 sheets every single day.
We still have some of the package that parents want their own copy of color.
Yes, we do have these color thermometers. We can give you some of these. But it kind of has a description of them. Starts with red, yellow, green, and then blue at the bottom is more of like not feeling well, kind of a thing. So green is really like your calm base level. Blue goes into not feeling well kind of a situation. So there's 2 indicators here. How are they before lunch? How are they after lunch? Okay. So this is a huge communication tool into your day, your students' day. Okay. So I know they get in the car. You're like, hey, how was your day? I don't know. What'd you do today? I don't know. Nothing. Right. Okay. So look at their support card. This should be going home every single day with your students. So look at their support card. This is going to give you, hey, I saw you earned 5,000 points today. What was that for? That was awesome, right? Or you can look at their behavior scale. Hey, I saw during lunch you were at like a level 3, like what was going on there, and then you can also look at the thermometer here too. Hopefully one of those sections will be circled as to how they were at whatever point before lunch or after lunch. I want you guys to make sure you're familiar with the support card and how we're using that. That is, again, that's your first layer of communication to you, okay? I know parents can't get to everyone every single day unless you're Evie, and she pretty much does. But we give her a countdown over there. Come on, Evie, 5, 4, 3, let's go. So Evie, Notley, I know they're both really good about making that daily connection with parents at pickup. But if you're not able to, definitely check support cards for an indication of what's going on with them throughout their day. Julie, do you have anything else to add about support cards? Okay, so that's your support card. So again, that's your first line of communication. Your second is you can always message the teacher directly, either through GroupMe, if you have their number, that's fine too, or email. You can always message the teacher directly. So that should be your second layer of communication. Talk to them. A lot of times you will get an update from their therapist when they pick up. You can get an update from them. That's fine too. We just ask if you have questions about protocols for their therapy, things like that, that needs to go directly to their lead. Okay. Their therapist can give you an indication their day was this, blah, blah, blah. But if you have questions about anything that you're doing, protocols or their behavior contract or things like that, that needs to go to their lead, okay? So just make sure you're talking to the lead about that. I am also always available though, if you need to talk to me about anything as well. Let's see, and then the last, not really the last layer, but another layer is these parent conferences. So we're doing that this week and next week. Your teacher should have reached out already to say, hey, we're scheduled conferences. We've already done Hangars 6, 7, and 8 already this week. Hangar 5 is tomorrow. And the way we're doing those is we're giving the teacher a sub for the day so the teacher can meet at any point throughout the day. So they can do it in person, over the phone, on Zoom, whatever is comfortable for you. But we're giving them the whole day to schedule those, so that I try to make it convenient for everybody. So if you have not heard from your teacher yet about conferences, you should. I think, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if Nolly or Evie has set theirs up yet, but yeah, so we're gonna be wrapping up conferences next week, for that. So that's your other layer of communication, okay? That's talking about things that have happened and then things that to look forward to, things that you want to do, goals, whatever, things you want to try to put in place. So,
Have frogs in your bed?
does anybody have questions about any of the communication, the support card, the conferences, any of that stuff? Those conferences, we do say they're mandatory just because we want to make sure we give you every piece of information that we can give you. So we try to do those 4 times a year. But we try to make it as convenient for you as possible. So again, you can do it on phone, in person, whatever that is. We just still want that communication of what's going on in the classroom. So, because, we always hear the things like, well, they don't act like that at home, or they don't do that at home, or whatever, which in a way it's like, okay, cool. Well, we know they have the skills to do it. So why is it different here? So, which there's tons of factors, right? You have 10 other sets of eyes looking at you and ears that can hear you. It's the attention thing, your peers, all those kind of things. The sensory, you got the noise level, the lights, all the things. So there's so many factors that can go into why there may be behaviors here versus at home, right? So, but that's a good thing, right? Because that's our purpose, right? Because we do want them to eventually transition, right? So we need to get them to understand how to handle that in themselves, to be able to recognize their emotions, how to process that, and to be able to cope with that in a school setting so that they can be ready to fly at some point, to be able to be back in a traditional school and to be able to know how to handle that, right? So, yeah. So again, conferences, make sure you're getting signed up for that. Let's see. Kelly, you want to give us an update on the scholarships? You're probably more.
Yeah, the scholarships are open to apply for next school year. If you have any questions, let me know. Most of it, they walk you through how to do it on the website. And then quarter 3 funds are ready for you to go in and approve, so make sure you do that. If you're not sure if you've done it or not, shoot me a message and I'll back you.
Yeah. So scholarships. I know Kelly and I attended a conference a couple weeks ago, and next year there's actually going to be, they said 27. I don't know if that's school year 27, 28, or just calendar year 27. I'm not sure. But there's going to be an additional FTC, a federal tax credit scholarship that can be in conjunction with a Step Up for Students scholarship. Okay. So as you guys know, we have like our set amount of tuition, right? That's about $10,500 for the school year. But for scholarship, we take whatever your scholarship gives, whatever that level is. For some, that may be $5,000. For some, that may be more. But we take whatever your scholarship gives. And so the FTC is going to be a great way to help make up some of that difference, okay? So that we can be able to get the teachers in that we need, right? To be able to get, to do programs like this, to be able to afford that so that we don't have to put the whole cost on you guys for you guys to participate, right? For curriculum, for all these kind of things, for technology, all the things. So as we get more information about that additional scholarship, we'll let you guys know, so that you can apply for that to help make up some of the difference of the tuition, the cost of tuition here. As far as building updates, we hope to move in the first classes probably after spring break. We're gonna try to do the bulk of the moving probably, first part of March and probably during spring break. That way we can get the things out of the classrooms that are gonna be moving over there and not have to literally do it overnight, right? So we can take a couple of days to have some time to actually get it set up. So it'll just be probably just a couple of classes this year, and then as we move ahead, then we'll let you guys know how that's looking, for the building and stuff, so. All right, does anybody have any questions about any of that stuff? No? Okay. So the only other thing we were gonna talk about tonight was talk about some token boards. I know Miss Kelly, did you wear those up?
They're all.
Oh, okay. So Miss Kelly has printed some. Token boards are an incredible tool to use. Can you let me hand me one or two, Kelly, and I'll so I can kind of show
A couple different types of money, a couple business schedule ones.
them. Okay. All right. So we use token boards here all throughout the day. A lot of times the one-on-ones we use them. So they can look many different ways. This is one. So it says, "I'm working for blank." And if it's a more of a visual learner, you can put a picture of what that is. So I'll show this here. So this says, "I'm working for whatever." You put that up here. So when this works, so you'll laminate these, which we have a laminator tonight. So if you want any of these, we can laminate these for you. We got Velcro dots too.
Got this
So
one with pictures too.
yeah, so if you have a picture, so maybe it's Chick-fil-A, you can print out the Chick-fil-A logo, right?
Yep.
If it's computer time or iPad, you can print out a picture of that. So you can or you can just simply write it in, right? With it being laminated, you can write it in with dry erase, whatever, you can just write it in. So this gives them the motivation, right? Because they're not gonna be willing, most of the time not willing to work without some kind of motivation, right? It's always a what's in it for me kind of thing, right? So whatever the motivation is, what they're working for, you put it here. And then you can set that up. Now, these parameters can be all different ways. If it needs to be, if they need a very rapid rate of reinforcement, so something they need that instant gratification kind of a thing, right? Or you're working towards like a time thing, like say, between getting home and supper time, if they have chores to do, or they have homework, or they need to study, or they need to do 10 minutes of reading, whatever that is, you can set that up and they can earn tokens for that to be able to get to that prize, whatever that is. Okay. So if it's something small, you can set up a small, like, hey, you finish your homework, whatever you set up, then, you can earn that 10 minutes of extra iPad time. Okay. Whatever that may be. So you're going to set that up into those small increments. So this has slot for 5. So figure out ways to kind of split that up into 5 different sets of things that they can earn. So, hey, even if it's just getting their book out of their backpack. Hey, great job getting your book out. That's your first token, right? Getting a pencil. That's your second token, right? Finding your paper, your spelling words. That's your third token, right? Writing the first word. That can be your 4th token. Writing a second word. That can be your 5th token. So, or you can spread it way out, right? So you can spread it out to be like, hey, get all your stuff together and give me at least 1 word. That can be your first token. So you can spread tokens out however you want to. you can set up a big thing. So if it's like older kids, when they don't necessarily, they can understand time a little bit better. If you're working for something towards the end of the week,
This one's got stars all the way around it. This one's at 5 too many. We've got one with 3.
yeah.
So
So there's all kinds of things, right? So maybe you set up something, you want them to make their bed every day, right? So you can set up, hey, 5 days this week, right? If you make your bed all 5 days, we're gonna go get Chick-fil-A after school, right? Or whatever that is. So first day, put a token in there. Second day, so this is their visual reminder of what that is, because we all know that our kids are way more visual than oral, right? So you say one thing and it goes in one ear and out the other, or maybe not even in the ear. It goes all the way around it. And they're like, you didn't tell me that. I didn't know that, right? So token boards are a huge asset. They can also do what we call create behavior momentum, right? And so that is starting with an easy task that we know they can complete. So again, that can be something small like, hey, just finding a pencil, something easy, right? Okay, that's behavior momentum. And then building up to that task, that hard task may be writing, right? For a lot of our kids, writing is a hard task. So you can use these token boards as behavior momentum to build up to that last hardest thing of writing a word. That's the hard thing, and be like, okay, boom. Hey, you can take a break. You can go take 5 minutes, go play with your Legos, and then come back, do it all again. Okay. But these tokens are just a huge visual for them to be able to understand. Oh yeah, I got to do this. I got to do this, and they see that and they're like, oh, one more. I can do it, right? And a lot of times that last thing is that hard thing, right? So that's what we call behavior momentum. It's the big mo, like starting with something small that they can do, and building up, and then the boom, you hit them with that last hard thing. Boom, you wrote that one word, great job, go right, go whatever, go hide in your tent for 5 minutes, whatever that is, So I would encourage you to use token boards as much as possible. You can use as many as possible. You have multiple ones really going at any given time. We have some here. We have laminators. We have Velcro dots and stuff here. So if you're interested, if you know something that you want your kid to be able to do, that you want to work on these at home, even if you don't know, you can just use dry erase marker and just write it in. And then, you can just write it in at home. So, even if you don't have a picture of it right now, you can just write it in and do that. If at some point you're like, hey, I don't have a picture of this, but can I send you that? Send it to us. We can print it and email it. Laminate it and have it ready for you, because I know not everybody has a laminator at home. You can use page protectors, yes.
Because for the ADHD kid, we have to change.
Yes, exactly, yes. So yeah, you can use page protectors. They do have self-laminating papers that you can do that as well. But the page protectors, you can just slide it in and out. And you can use those as well. So feel free to be like, hey, can I send you, or can you make one for me that has, like, if your kid really loves Minecraft, hey, can you make me one that has Minecraft emblems on it? My kid really loves Minecraft, so it's going to be, more motivating for him when he sees the Minecraft figures there. Absolutely, we'll make them for you. Let us know. We will be glad to make them. Maybe it's, Legos. Maybe it's food. Maybe it's, for me, it would be Broadway musicals, right? So you can put Wicked on there, right? So set up whatever's motivating enough for your kid. Maybe it's Bluey, put some of their favorite characters, whatever. Make it fun for them, so they're gonna want to be able to look at this too, and to be able to say, oh yeah, I got 5 Blueys, I can watch Bluey now, or whatever that is, right? So really that's the last of like the talk part tonight. So Kelly's got this stuff set up over here, so you're welcome to look through these if you want to go ahead and we can get the laminators going and get those laminated. You're welcome to let them play as long as you want to. For those on Zoom, I'm probably going to go ahead and cut that off because we're pretty much done. But again, we're going to, Joe Don has you can see me a Google form link to that. So Joe Don has a Google form. We're going to get that out to kind of gauge interest in the Code Ninjas, what age groups we're talking about, like what area we're talking about, so we can kind of
figure out how to piece together what's gonna work best. You know, again, we wanna keep it as an elective, so we wanna be able to keep it during our school hours. As she was saying earlier, some of their program is very mobile and they can bring it more likely to be at the new building. It's very mobile, but there are other programs it's not. So gauging the interest of what that's gonna look like. If it's us going to them, then that's in Gulf Breeze. So that's, we're talking like a midday thing so that we can have time to get over there, time to get back, right? We talked about doing just maybe a short-term thing as we wrap up our school year, because we're pushing into spring break coming up. And then April, we got a couple field trips already planned, and we have maps testing that we do in April. And right. So but as you guys know, we do a summer program too, so maybe set something up for the summertime also, and then something more like long-term for next school year, especially for our older kids, like the robotics leagues, because there's international competitions for that. I mean, that's crazy. That's super cool. So I'm super excited about what Code Ninjas can do. Obviously the kids are very well entertained by it, and it's kind of one of those things, it's like they're learning and they don't realize that they're learning.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah. So, all right, so I'll let Kelly, if you guys want to make some, token boards or visual schedules too, we have visual schedules too. Like if your kiddo needs help, getting ready in the mornings, that can be from everything to literally, getting out of bed, you can do every little detail or just small things, but we're always pushing towards that independence in some way, right? So, so those visual schedules, so to be able to say, these are things I have to do before we leave, and it can be transferring them from one side to the other, or check marks, and things like that. So, visual schedules are a huge tool as well. So, all right, so Zoom, I'm gonna go ahead and cut you guys off, and then you guys here, feel free to make, you guys wanna make some visual schedules?
So this is similar to what they're on that computer over there.
And then we can let them play however much they wanna play. All right, bye Zoom. Thank you, guys.